Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Movie Star Monday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I've got a guest, Minka Kelly. She's joining us today. She's been in several movies. She was in an Adam Sandler movie, the one with Jennifer Aniston. I can't think what it's called right now, but she was the young lady that was on the bar stool that he was kind of flirting with. She's like, can I go 10 seconds without somebody flirting with me? So I don't have those problems in my life, by the way. People don't.
I'm
flirt
trying to
with
think
me.
of an Adam Sandler and Jennifer Sandler.
We'll have to watch it later. Also, she's got a new show that started Friday. It's called Titan, and she's half of the duo Hawk and Dove. Which one do you think she is?
Probably Dove.
You're right, she's Dove. I've got a quote from one of Heidi's favorites, Carol Burnett. She said, "When you have a dream, you have got to grab it and never let it go." I like that. That's a great quote. And it's going to be a great Monday. It's going to be a great Movie Star Monday. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. If you have a dog, listen to this. FreshPatch.com is a subscription service that will send you a box with a fresh patch of grass for your dog to use for a few weeks. Then they send you a new fresh patch and you discard the old one. You can throw it in the trash, use it for compost, or even put it in your yard and it'll grow into the ground. FreshPatch.com has thousands of happy dog families who love this concept, especially in the colder months. Try it now for a little less. Use promo code RADIO to save 10%. That's FreshPatch.com, promo code RADIO. Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It is Monday, the 15th day of October. We're halfway through the month already. I guess like it'll be halfway through the day, we'll kind of be halfway through the month. But either way, today is Anesthetician's Day. How do you say that? Estheticians? Am I saying that right? I don't know. Do you hold your tongue when you say that word? I'm not sure. It just sounds like you do. National Cheese Curd Day. It is National I Love Lucy Day. National Grouch Day. It's a good day for people who don't like anything. National Latino AIDS Awareness Day. National Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Day. National White Cane Safety Day, which really should be every day. And National Clean Your Virtual Desktop Day. So all of these things happening on this Monday, the 15th day of October. Radio. It's a pretty amazing marketing tool. But like many tools, it works best when used properly. Like, let's take this weed whacker. I could use this to trim my hair. Yikes. Hope that grows back. But that's not what weed whackers are for. Tools work much better when you use them for their proper use, just like radio. If you want help making radio work better for your business, that's our business. RadioReallyWorks.com. Get better results with the money you're already spending. RadioReallyWorks.com. Time now for Is It a Golf Course or Is It a Rehab Center? This is where Heidi has to try to guess if this is a golf course, this place I'm going to tell her about, or if it's a rehab center.
All right.
And I'm not going to have any help from the professionals today. I have some PGA pros that recorded some stuff, but that would mean I'd have to find that on my computer right now. It's a Monday. It's a Monday. Antelope Hills, Du Bois, Wyoming, or Du Bois, Wyoming. Antelope Hills, Du Bois, Wyoming. What do you think? Golf course or rehab center?
I'm going to say golf course.
And you're going to be absolutely correct.
Ha!
Golf
There
clap
we
for
go,
Heidi.
see?
Is
My
it a golf
streak
course?
is back.
Or is it a rehab center? Brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. We're getting to the time of year where we start planning for holiday parties and other events that often include alcohol. I encourage you to have some alcohol-free options as well. And if you are drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. TimeForRehab.com would love to connect you with someone who can be there for you or that loved one. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, we're here for you. TimeForRehab.com. That's TimeForRehab.com. And this is Your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. Every day at this time, we talk about people who do silly things under the influence, but you need to understand, addiction is no laughing matter. If you or someone you know needs help, you can learn more at TimeForRehab.com. And a Los Angeles man has been fined $550 in order to pay restitution for riding an electric scooter while intoxicated. He knocked over a 64-year-old pedestrian on a sidewalk while doing it. The city said, the prosecutor for the city said the 28-year-old Nicholas Kaufroth was first driving the motorized scooter under the influence, and it's the first legal case with this charge in Los Angeles history. So they've never had this happen before. Anyway, he pled no contest, but he did get a 36-month probation, and completes a DUI program, even though it was on an electric scooter. So now you know. But that's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. A story is circulating on the internet. I'm still not sure if it's true or not, but it says that an inmate smacked Bill Cosby in the face with a chicken patty after he told a distasteful joke. How do you know? Is there any way for us to... This is flying around on the internet. I don't know if there's any way to find out if it's true. I mean, it's not like you can call Bill Cosby and say, did this happen?
After Bill Cosby told a distasteful joke.
Apparently, in prison. And
he offended someone in prison.
Apparently. I don't know. Again, I probably shouldn't have even read it because I can't corroborate
This
the
is
story.
how you know the world has gotten too sensitive when even prisoners are getting all offended from a joke.
I don't know what he said. I don't know what type of chicken patty it was. I don't even know if it really happened. Oh. Taylor Swift's longtime rival Katy Perry liked an Instagram post where she announced she was getting into politics. How did that become news? That she doesn't like her and she liked a post. Ooh, call the press. And then finally, Busy Phillips. You know who that is?
No clue.
Busy Phillips was on the show Freaks and Geeks. Busy Phillips claims that James Franco bullied her on the set of Freaks and Geeks. So there you go. This has been Big Screen, Little Screen on a Monday. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show. Radio. It's a pretty amazing marketing tool. But like many tools, it works best when used properly. Like, let's take this weed whacker. I could use this to trim my hair. Yikes. Hope that grows back. But that's not what weed whackers are for. Tools work much better when you use them for their proper use, just like radio. If you want help making radio work better for your business, that's our business. RadioReallyWorks.com. Get better results with the money you're already spending. RadioReallyWorks.com. Now your scoop of the day, brought to you by FreshPatch.com. Promo code radio. A study by the University of Canada found that getting 8 hours of sleep every night is best for your brain. So how many hours of sleep do you get, Heidi?
We always known that. I mean, we've known that since I was in grade school. It's always been that.
I don't think I ever paid attention. I probably slept through that. Okay, maybe not. Two
this
inmates.
Is not new news anyway.
Well, it is now because they did an actual study, and the best for your brain is 8 hours of sleep per night. 2 inmates escaped from a Kentucky prison by hiding in the garbage. Oh, it's the last place you'd think to look. They're back in prison, by the way. A video has gone viral of a dog running through a soccer game in the country of Georgia. So
I saw that, and then he laid down on the field and wanted his belly scratched.
Yeah. And it was really hard for them to catch him because when you're playing soccer, you can't use your hands. Have you ever tried to catch a dog with your feet? No. It's tough.
That was pretty horrible.
I know. Hey, a Houston gun range has banned 2 men, quote, for life, after they posed for a selfie with one man pointing a gun at the other man.
That's
terrible,
so dangerous.
Terrible idea.
So dangerous.
I'm with the side of the gun range here because there are some people saying, okay, for life, I could see where you kick them out for a few weeks, but for life? But
no, because if they're that irresponsible, then they're putting other people at your range at risk as well. So it's best to keep them out of there.
Yeah. Hey, something that's kind of interesting. There's a meme, is that what the kids call them nowadays? That's floating around down the old internet that says October 13th will be the first time Halloween falls on a Friday the 13th in 666 years.
I saw that.
So people have been sharing this thing. First of all, Halloween never falls on a 13th. It's always on the 31st. But second of all, it wasn't Friday the 13th last week. It was the 12th. And this kind of turned into a cool little fact. It's a spooky month because Friday the 13th didn't happen this month. And as a matter of fact, it's not going to happen. The next Friday the 13th won't come until next September, 2019. So a whole year away. So that's kind of weird.
Another spooky thing is we had Hurricane Michael this month, which is interesting considering it's October.
Halloween,
yeah.
Yeah, see, I never even thought of that. And I think that movie's back in theaters or was back in theaters. I saw something about that online. Okay, and we're gonna end on this. Even small drones can leave a big impact on large aircraft, which is why in many parts of the world, flying a drone anywhere near the airport is illegal. That makes a lot of sense, right? Mm-hmm. Well, a scientist at the University of Dayton Research Institute, they flung a 2.1 drone from a cannon into an airplane wing, and the collision was staged, but the damage was real, and it ripped the airplane wide open. I've got a link to the video so you can see what kind of damage, because people are going, why would they care? I mean, they're banning these little drones. If you're dumb enough to fly your drone near an airport, it's going to get hit by a plane going fast, and it's just going to destroy the drone. Well, now you can see footage of what will happen to the plane, too. It's scary. I've got a link to that in our show notes at johnandheidishow.com. We're getting to the time of year where we start planning for holiday parties and other events that often include alcohol. I encourage you to have some alcohol-free options as well. And if you are drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. Timeforrehab.com would love to connect you with someone who can be there for you or that loved one. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, we're here for you. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com. Thank you for listening to another Movie Star Monday. We have Minka Kelly joining us right now, and not only is she on the big screen, she's on the little screen for a lot of really cool things, and she's got a new program that's coming out real soon. It actually just started Friday. Is that right, Minka?
That's right.
So now let's talk a little bit about the program that people can watch on the little screen. Tell me a little bit about the TV show that you're in that just started Friday.
It's a show called Titans, which will live on DC Universe's streaming service. It's a superhero show, but not like one you've ever seen on TV before. This is a more grown-up, dark, gritty version than you've ever seen, which is why it's great that we get to be on a streaming service, because we get to take the liberties of going deeper and darker when it comes to storytelling, while also still finding the balance of keeping the superhero aspect of the show. So it's really fun. It's definitely the more grown-up version of this genre.
That is cool. And you have the regular role now of the character Dove. Now, let's talk about Dove. For people who are not maybe superhero fans and don't know much, what is the character Dove like?
So Dove is part of a duo, Hawk and Dove. And Hawk is the avatar of war and chaos. Dove is the avatar of peace and order, and they balance each other out. And I'm excited to play Dove just because it's an honor to be able to play a female who, on one end of the spectrum, can be very warm and nurturing, and also really strong and badass. And so, it's a lot of times you see one or the other with female roles, and I don't believe that those two things are mutually exclusive. So it's fun to be able to portray a woman with all of those traits.
Very cool. Well, I'm super excited for you, and I didn't get a chance to see it Friday, but we're going to have to make sure we catch up. And again, it's called, her character is Dove, but the television program is called Titans, and we'll make sure to put all the info so you can find that online. Now, one of the other things I wanted to make sure I ask you about, I think this is kind of cool. Your father was the former guitarist in the band Aerosmith. What was it like growing up when you hear a song come on the radio and you're going, hey, my dad played the guitar in that? That had to be kind of cool.
Yeah, it's cool. He's an amazing musician, and that's always fun to have around.
Very, very cool. Well, again, congratulations on all the success you've had in the movies that you've been in, the television programs you've been in. And something that I think is also kind of fun is right now, this time of year, as people are kind of not feeling the greatest, you kind of have some ideas on things that they can do to maybe feel a little bit better so they can have their own superpowers almost, right?
That's right. It's fall now, and we're approaching the winter season, which is also cold and flu season. And the last thing people want to do is stay home and battle a swarm of sick symptoms. And so, you can now go to Mucinex Cold and Flu All-in-One, which is the medicine that can help you get back to being your hero self, as opposed to walking around with this secret sick identity that I think a lot of us are guilty of, and pretending we're not sick. So instead of that, we can now go to Mucinex to feel better and continue on our activities.
So is there a place that people can go to find more information on the Mucinex? And I know I've seen it at stores, so I can pick it up in stores very easily. But if I want to know more about how I can use it and how I can use this to, kind of have my own superpowers this fall, where do I find the information on that?
You can go to Mucinex.com to learn more about how getting back to your hero self.
That is awesome. And now some of the other films and things that you've had a chance to be a part of, as I'm looking through your IMDb, I love to kind of just snoop before I talk to people. And I kind of go through and I go, oh, hey, I remember that, and I remember that. So I remember one of the movies, Just Go With It, with Adam Sandler, and that was kind of a fun film. And your character in that, it wasn't a really big role, but it was a really funny role, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun working with Adam, and yeah, that was great.
As you have a chance to look, and I guess we can kind of tell people that she was the one that Adam was kind of flirting with. I put air quotes there when you forgot your purse, and and you said, "Can I go 10 seconds without somebody hitting on me?" And it's funny because I think we know somebody that's been in that situation, don't we?
I think we might. Sure. Yeah, that was sort of what sort of set off the storyline of the whole movie.
Absolutely. Now, some of the other films that you've been a part of and some of the movies, are there some, as you look back, that are kind of your favorites that you go, I just really am so glad I had the chance to do this, or are they all kind of favorites?
I would say, without being too generic, they're all kind of favorites just because they're all special in their own right, and I learned something from each of them. I mean, I have to say it was really fun dressing up and playing Jackie Kennedy. That was quite an honor, wearing her clothes and portraying her.
That absolutely would be.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a preference, whether it's, and I know you do a lot of stuff on television, but you've done movies as well. Do you have a preference of big screen or little screen? Do you kind of prefer doing television over movies?
No, I think the thing I care about most is probably just the storytelling. If it's a good story and it's an interesting character. I chose to play Dove just because she's so complex, and this show is about broken, flawed people, and it's a story about lost souls trying to find their way. So, like with the show that I'm on right now, I'm attracted to it for that reason, whether it's small screen or big screen or network or streaming. I'm in love with the way they're telling these stories. So
Well,
I don't think I have a preference.
Well, you do a great job, whether it's the big screen or the little screen, and congratulations on being Dove in Titans. I think that's really cool.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for taking some time to chat with us today.
Thank you.
I'm going to throw a link in our show notes, not only to the info that we talked with her about for Mucinex, and we're going to have a link to that, but we're also going to have a link in the show notes to share the information on Titans, which started Friday, and then she's got a movie called She's in Portland that's coming out soon. We'll have all that info in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
If you want to grow your business, you can add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers, or a combination of both. There's no other way to grow your business. Just those two. Add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers. And if you already have a relationship with your customers and you have their email address, you can reach out to them with special offers to easily grow your sales, and you'll make your customers even happier. Let the experts at Constant Contact help. Get a free trial now. Text Radio Trial to number 22828. That's Radio Trial, all one word, to number 22828.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
4% of the sand on Normandy Beach is made up of shrapnel from D-Day that broke down.
Oh, my gosh.
4%. Yeah, that is crazy. So I've never been to that beach. I would love to go sometime.
I would love to as well.
And I know relatives that were on that beach for D-Day of ours. So, but that is just amazing. 4% of the sand is made up still today of shrapnel from D-Day that is broken down. This has been an interesting, fun fact. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show. If you have a dog, listen to this. FreshPatch.com is a subscription service that will send you a box with a fresh patch of grass for your dog to use for a few weeks. Then they send you a new fresh patch and you discard the old one. You can throw it in the trash, use it for compost, or even put it in your yard and it'll grow into the ground. FreshPatch.com has thousands of happy dog families who love this concept, especially in the colder months. Try it now for a little less. Use promo code RADIO to save 10%. That's FreshPatch.com, promo code RADIO. Time now for today's grandiloquent word, and I'm going to try this one. Acrocephalic. Acrocephalic. A-C-R-O-C-E-P-H-A-L-I-C. Acrocephalic. What do you think acrocephalic means, Heidi?
I have no idea.
It's kind of fun to say. Do you want to say acrocephalic?
Acrocephalic.
All right. Have you ever seen the movie Coneheads?
Yes.
They are acrocephalic, having a pointy or cone-shaped head. Of a skull having a relatively abnormal large ratio of height to breadth. Or a person with a pointy head is acrocephalic. There you go. And if you happen to be acrocephalic, I apologize for bringing this up today. Honestly, that's not a bad thing. Just more brains in there because you're smarter than the rest of us. So there you go. You should hold your head high. And I didn't mean that as a joke. Thank you so much for listening to today's grandiloquent word on the John and Heidi Show. We're getting to the time of year where we start planning for holiday parties and other events that often include alcohol. I encourage you to have some alcohol-free options as well. And if you are drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. TimeForRehab.com would love to connect you with someone who can be there for you or that loved one. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, we're here for you. timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com. Time now for some weird news on a Monday. A New Mexico man is suing a supermarket chain when he said he slipped and fell on a green chili pod. Albuquerque Journal reported a lawyer for Richard Berman filed a lawsuit last week in Santa Fe District Court 2 years after the chili allegedly swept Berman off his feet. He's seeking damages from Sprouts Farmers Market for injuries he suffered to his neck, back, shoulders, and left knee. The lawsuit claims he continues to suffer from headaches and other pains. It says that Sprouts, quote, knew or should have known that the floor of the store where the green chili was located was subject to routine heavy foot traffic, end quote. The Phoenix-based Sprouts Farmers Market declined to comment. I think it's just weird news because I wonder what's going to happen. Do you think he's going to win this case?
I have no idea.
You know, if somebody slips and gets hurt in your store, absolutely, you should do something to help them. But I wonder how much he's suing for, and this was 2 years later.
Okay, so I slipped one time in the grocery store on a grape and fell.
I remember that.
I was so embarrassed. I got up and right away there were like 4 employees around me instantly. Yeah. Oh my gosh, are you okay? What can we do? I'm like, I'm fine. Please just go away. Don't draw any more attention to it.
Pay no attention to the woman who slipped on a grape.
I would never.
We don't know what happened.
Try to sue.
Again, this person there could be some legitimate damages and things, but I just think it's sad that it has to go to court. You'd think they'd be able to work this out between them.
Right.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. That's why it's today's Weird News. Now, your moment of duh for a Monday. A Springfield man is in jail after authorities say he filmed himself using a butter knife and a screwdriver to remove his ankle monitor. Then he posted the video to Facebook. That's not smart. 33-year-old Dustin W. Burns, smart enough to do all of this, but dumb enough to post it to Facebook. He pled guilty to violating a restraining order earlier in the year. He was placed on probation. And now his "this is how you take an ankle bracelet off" video, without breaking the circuit.
That's amazing.
He can be seen with his pant leg rolled up. He sticks a butter knife in and out of the device before grabbing a utility tool to unscrew part of it. He advises viewers to remove the ankle monitor without damaging it, thus avoiding thousands of dollars in fines. The video, I think I got it right. Idiot and video together. The video ends with him holding it up to the camera. Authorities apparently believe this man is Burns. He was charged with tampering with an electronic monitoring equipment. They believe it was him. If they don't know it was him, I think they need to make sure that it was him first. But it's a bad idea. That's why it's today's Moment of Duh.
If you want to grow your business, you can add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers or a combination of both. There's no other way to grow your business. Just those two. Add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers. And if you already have a relationship with your customers and you have their email address, you can reach out to them with special offers to easily grow your sales, and you'll make your customers even happier. Let the experts at Constant Contact help. Get a free trial now. Text Radio Trial to number 22828. That's Radio Trial, all one word, to number 22828.
Time now for Fake News or Florida. This is where I read a story and then my beautiful bride Heidi has to tell me if this is fake news, something that we made up to trick her, or if it's a real true story from the great state of Florida. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Fake News or Florida. A St. Petersburg police officer was fired after he lent his police car to a friend who wanted to use it to play a prank. Fake News or Florida?
Florida.
You know, we got you, finally. It's been a long time. But
it has been a long time.
Yes, this is fake news. It was made up. I do remember a friend of ours who was a police officer who we had him. I don't think he was wearing his uniform when he came over there.
No, he wasn't.
We pulled a prank on our son for April Fool's Day. It was so funny.
That was the last time we did it, too.
Yeah, we haven't pulled a prank since then. It was bad. But
he lost his mind.
He was very...
Rightfully so. It was pretty mean.
You were pretty mean on that, Heidi. Heidi used to be like the April Fool's prankster of all pranksters, and that was kind of what ended it.
I had to just keep getting better and
better.
It was
good. It involved the real police, but just an off-duty officer doing a favor. But he wasn't using any police equipment like this story.
No, he was not.
So there you go. This has been Fake News or Florida. This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news, and it comes your way courtesy of Odiva. Odiva is the monthly subscription service just for the ladies. All of the details at radiosavings.com. Here's the headline. Researchers tried to curb opioid abuse by sending letters to the doctors, and it made a difference. So there are a lot of people out there that are getting hooked on pain pills. I actually know like 3 different people who've had major issues with this. So, you know, and if that's me, and I know 3 people, imagine how many there are. There's thousands. There's probably millions. Anyway, so there's a couple of ways to try to fix this problem. One is, once they're hooked, try to get them unhooked, right?
Right.
But there's another way is to say, maybe try to get them to avoid it altogether. So who's the one prescribing these? Doctors. Legislators have attempted to tackle the opioid crisis by enforcing regulations. Well, these researchers found success with a completely different approach. What they did is they sent letters to 381 physicians in one county alone, San Diego County, about their concerns over former patients from these doctors. And it's really cool because based on these letters, they've actually seen a decrease in the issue in this particular county. Enclosed with the letter was a CDC-approved set of guidelines for how the healthcare professionals should safely prescribe opioids. Anyway, the whole concept is if they could just get the doctors to kind of think this through before just saying, we're going to put you on this. It says here these prescriptions went down by 10%. So 10% fewer prescriptions because of the letters. And then there were, 10% fewer people with issues. So it's just this huge ripple effect. It's really a cool story, and I don't have time to give it justice here, but I have a link to it in the show notes at johnandheidishow.com. But I think that's really good news. Because I don't think the answer is legislating things. I'm not a fan of more and more and more government, but I just think the answer is quite often just think it through, think things through. And when they had to take 1 second to go, do they need this?
Right, but just taking away somebody's prescription doesn't solve the problem.
Okay.
Because then they're looking for it illegally and unsafely.
They're not taking away prescriptions of people who are hooked. They're not prescribing to people who maybe didn't need a prescription in the first place.
Okay.
So that's what this is. And that's where I think it's such a brilliant idea. Fixing the problem before it becomes a problem.
Right.
I think that's so cool. Anyway, a link in the show notes. In the good news section at the very bottom, you'll find that in the show notes at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great Monday. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.